Very good morning, students. Today we are going to learn second chapter revision polynomials. So the definition of the polynomial is that an algebraic expression which involves addition operation, subtraction, multiplication and division with a non-negative exponents of the variable. It means that let us take an algebraic expression. So this is 3x plus 5. It is an algebraic expression which involves addition. So instead of addition it may be subtraction, it may be multiplication, it may be division. So if I take any of these four operations with non-negative exponents, so the variable exponent, the power of the variable should be non-negative, means it should be positive. So these are going to call it as polynomials. So we have totally four types of polynomials. So the four types of polynomials we have. So the first one is linear polynomial. So a polynomial, I can call it as a linear polynomial if its degree is 1. If its highest degree is 1, then I can call it as linear polynomial. For example, we can take it as 2y plus 7, 3y minus 2, 5z plus 10, whatever it might be. Here if you observe the exponents of the variables, all are having 1. So I can call this as linear polynomial. Why? Because if its degree is 1, means in these polynomials, if you are finding the highest degree as 1, then you are going to call it as a linear polynomial. The second type is quadratic polynomial. So in quadratic polynomial, if highest degree is 2, so if you find the highest degree of the polynomial is 2, then you can call it as a quadratic polynomial. We can see examples: x square minus 2x plus 5 and 3x square plus 10x minus 9. So if you observe these two polynomials, since the highest degree of the variable is 2, then we can call it as a quadratic polynomial. Next, third type is cubic polynomial. So a polynomial is called as cubic polynomial if its highest degree is 3. If the highest degree is 3, then we are going to call it as cubic polynomial. So the examples are x cube minus 7, 2x cube minus 3x square plus 5x minus 2. So it may have 2 terms, it may have 4 terms, it doesn't matter, but if you observe in the polynomial, if the highest degree is 3, we are going to call it as cubic polynomial. The last one is biquadratic polynomial. So in a polynomial, if the highest degree is 4, so if the highest degree is 4, we are going to call that polynomial as a biquadratic polynomial. So the example is x power 4 minus 2x plus 5. So if we take the standard form, x power 4 plus 3x cube minus 2x square plus 7x minus 10. So these are the four types of polynomials: linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial, and biquadratic polynomial. So based on the degrees, we are differentiating four types of polynomials. Now let us see the standard forms of these polynomials. So we have linear polynomial. So the standard form of the linear polynomials is ax plus b. So we have to remember the standard forms. The standard form of the linear polynomial is ax plus b, and the second one is quadratic polynomial. The standard form of the quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. Next, cubic polynomial. The standard form of the cubic polynomial is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. And biquadratic polynomial. So the standard form of the biquadratic polynomial is ax power 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e. So these are the various standard forms. If you observe here, we are increasing the letters a, b, c, d, e. And if you observe the degrees also, x square, here x cube, here x power 4. It will be in reducing order, x cube, x square, x and constant term. So if you see that, he may ask in our objective type also, what is the coefficient of the constant term? The coefficient of the constant term will be, the degree of the constant term will be 0. Make sure of this. The degree of constant term. If in above polynomials mentioned, if you observe the degree of any constant term, it will be 0. Why? Because we can write here x power 0, here also we can write x power 0. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So that's why we are not mentioning here x power 0. The degree of the constant term is always 0. The next, let us see the 0 of the polynomial. So 0 of polynomial. If p of x is a polynomial, if p of x is a polynomial and k is a real number, then replace k in place of x, so that p of k is equals to 0. It means that, for example, let us take a polynomial here, p of x is equals to x cube minus 3x plus 5 at x is equals to 5. If I take it like this, it means that in place of x I have to substitute 5, so that will be the 0 of the polynomial. Next, let us see the number of zeros for the every polynomial. So number of zeros of polynomials. So previously we are going to call it as roots. Now in this chapter we are going to call it as zeros. Zeros and roots both are same. So if I take a quadratic, if I take linear standard form. So here if you observe that number of zeros will be only 1. We can get only 1 0. Why? Because since the highest degree is 1, so we are going to get number of zeros is 1. Depending upon the highest degree we will get. So here quadratic, if I take standard form of the quadratic here, number of zeros are 2. If I take a cubic polynomial here, bx square plus cx plus d, the number of zeros are 3. If I take the biquadratic polynomial, dx plus e, the number of zeros are 4. And moreover, we have certain graphs here. For example, let us take this graph. So in this graph, okay, the graph is like this. So if he is asking find the number of zeros in the above graph, so number of zeros. So if you observe here number of zeros, it means that how many times it is touching the x-axis. Make sure of this count: 1, 2, 3 and 4. So number of zeros will be 4. So based on the graph also you may be raising the questions that find the number of zeros from the above graph. So number of zeros are nothing but how many times it is going to touch the x-axis. So it is touching at 4 different points. So we are going to call it as number of zeros is 4. Next, let us see the relationship between zeros and coefficients. Relationship between zeros and coefficients. So if you observe here, let us take a quadratic first. So for a quadratic polynomial ax square plus bx plus c, so we are going to have two zeros. Let us assume that alpha is one zero and beta is another zero. So sum of the zeros are nothing but alpha plus beta. It can be given as minus b by a, which is nothing but minus of coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. So coefficient of x by coefficient of x square. Similarly, we have product of the zeros. Which is alpha into beta, which is c by a, that is constant term by coefficient of x square. So coefficient of x square is a, constant term is c. So the formula will be c by a. We need to remember these two formulas. So in sum of the zeros is minus b by a, product of the zeros is c by a in case of quadratic polynomial. Now the same case if it comes to cubic polynomial. Ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. So the sum of here three zeros will be there. So I am assuming alpha, beta and gamma. So sum of the zeros alpha plus beta plus gamma can be given as minus b by a, which is minus of coefficient of x square by coefficient of x cube. So sum of the zeros taken two at a time. Sum of the zeros taken two at a time, the formula will be c by a, which is nothing but coefficient of x by coefficient of x cube. So product of the zeros is minus d by a, that is minus constant term by coefficient of x cube. So these are the three formulas for identifying the relationship between the zeros and coefficients for the cubic polynomial. So sum of the zeros is minus b by a, sum of the zeros taken two at a time will be c by a, product of the zeros will be minus d by a. Now let us do one question based on the establish a relationship between zeros and coefficients of, let us say a polynomial x square plus 10 x square minus 10 minus 3x. Okay, so this is the question. It is a quadratic, so we have to establish the relationship between zeros and coefficients. Now if you observe that given polynomial, so the polynomial is x cube minus 3x minus 10, where a is 1, b is minus 3, c is minus 10. It means that if nothing is there in front of the variable, then we can assume it as 1. If minus x square is there, we have to assume it as minus 1. So this is the given thing. So first of all, let us find out alpha and beta for this. So let us use the factorization method. So minus 10 can be split as 5 2s. So minus 5 plus 2. So x square minus 5x plus 2x minus 10. So I can take x common in this. It will become x minus 5. The same x minus 5 will be there here. It will become minus 2. Plus 2. So x minus 5 overall I can take common. So the remaining will be x plus 2. It means that x minus 5 is equals to 0. X plus 2 is equals to 0. X equals to 5. X equals to minus 2. So I got here two zeros. One is 5 and the other one is minus 2. So I will assume it as alpha. So alpha I got it as 5 and beta I got it as minus 2. Now let us establish, first of all let us do sum of the zeros. So that is alpha plus beta, which is 5 plus minus 2, which is 3. So alpha into beta, which is 5 into minus 2, which is minus 10. So we got this. Now verification, let us do by verification. So let us verify. Let us write once again x square minus 3x minus 10. So this is our question. So verification, A is 1 here, B is minus 3, C is minus 10. Now verification alpha plus beta, we have the formula minus B by A, which is nothing but minus B is minus of minus 3 by A, which is 1 plus 3. So this alpha plus beta and this alpha plus beta is verified. Next product of the zeros, that is C by A, which is minus 10 by 1, which is minus 10. So here also we are getting minus 10, hence verified. Hence verified. So similarly we can take the small question 7. For example, let us take another question simple. So if the question is like this, 4p square plus 10. If the question is like this, okay, 4p square minus 10 if we take, so directly we can take 2 common here, it will become 2p square. So for the given polynomial we can write 4p square minus 10 is equals to 0, 4p square is equals to 10, p square is equals to 10 by 4, so p square is equals to 5 by 2. So p is equals to root of 5 by 2 plus or minus. So make sure that if I transpose square to another side it will become plus or minus. So alpha will be root 5 by 2, beta will be minus of root 5 by 2. So again we have to do sum of the zeros, product of the zeros and all those things. So if I do sum of the zeros for this, it will be root of 5 by 2 minus root of 5 by 2, it will be 0. Product of the zeros, if I do root 5 by 2 into root 5 by 2, so it will be 5 by 2 minus 5 by 2. So if I do verification here, so here A is 4, B is 0, C is minus 10. So if I do alpha plus beta, the formula is minus B by A, which is nothing but 0 by 4, which is 0. Alpha into beta, which is C by A, that is minus 10 by 4, that is minus 5 by 2. So these two are verified. So whenever quadratic splitting is there, then you have to do, if there are only two numbers, then we can take common and we can do it. If there are only number and a variable, we can directly transpose and find. Make sure that if I transposing square, it will become plus or minus root. Next, let us take another question. So framing a quadratic polynomial. So framing a quadratic polynomial. So while doing framing a quadratic polynomial, we have that formula that x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. Or else we can do like this also. We can write x minus alpha into x minus beta equals to 0. So if I expand this, I will get x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha into beta. So better to remember this. So let us take a question. Form a quadratic polynomial. Form a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are 3 and 4. So alpha is given as 3 and beta is given as 4. Alpha is equal to 3, beta is equal to 4. So alpha plus beta, which is 3 plus 4, which is 7. Alpha into beta, which is 3 into 4, which is 12. If I substitute in the formula is x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. So x square minus alpha plus beta is 7. So 7x plus alpha into beta is 12. So x square minus 7x plus 12. So this is the framing of a quadratic polynomial. Similarly, we have framing of a cubic polynomial. So it's better to remember that. So framing a cubic polynomial will be x cube minus alpha plus beta plus gamma into x square plus alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha into x minus alpha beta gamma equals to 0. So x cube minus sum of the zeros, here sum of the zeros taken into it time, here product of the zeros is equals to 0. So this is framing a cubic polynomial. He will give in the question alpha, beta, gamma values. So we have to just substitute in this, so we'll get the cubic polynomial. So this is the overall what is there in the chapter. So if we prepare in this manner, we can score good marks in polynomials.